Harrison Ford, how is it that the lack of clean water and food in countries far from here is a threat to US national security?
Because it puts such stress on some of the most fragile nations in the world, and because we're all interconnected. And for instance, a simple lack of fresh water, drinking water, can lead to population dislocation, which can lead to political radicalisation, which can lead to great pressure on states that receive refugees because of a migrating population. That the natural services of nature, a healthy ecosystem, is the source of many of the sources that sustain our lives.
And why is it so important to you personally?
I'm a human being. I have children. I'm interested in their futures. I'm interested in nature in many, many ways. And I'm also interested in the moral responsibility of human beings to each other, to themselves, to the future.
And Peter, what's a specific example of a country where there's such a shortage of food that represents a threat to us here in the US?
The Somalian fisheries collapsed because of overfishing, principally by European nations. And the fishermen that depended upon those fish, the local fishermen, had no way to feed themselves, no way to eat. But they had boats. And they became pirates. And what is the impact on the United States? The United States joins with other forces around the world, and we spend $2 billion trying to prevent piracy that's caused by overfishing.
So what do you see as the answer? I mean, what should the US government be doing to try and prevent overfishing in East Africa?
It's not a question of prevention. It's a question of support, supplying information, supplying support to prevent these things from happening. It's a lot cheaper to intervene before it becomes a national security issue.
What more would you like to see the government doing? You talk about support from the US government. Can you be more specific?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's a very tough time. The competition for what resources we have now in this economic climate are limited. But funding for international conservation is one component that I think that we mustn't cease to be responsible for, because those dollars are well spent. Every dollar that we spend on international conservation comes back to us.
What are the risks if we don't take the need for international conservation seriously enough?
Nature doesn't need people. People need nature. Nature and this planet would survive easily, beautifully, without the pressure of the human animal, and it would survive just fine. Human beings need nature. Nature doesn't need human beings.